Okay, the 85th meeting of the Vienna Alumni Association will now come to order. Will the secretary please read the minutes of last year's meeting?
Thank you. It's so nice to see so many familiar faces and some new faces too. The minutes from April 28, 2001. The welcome greeting was extended by Alumni President Irina Scott Kennedy, which led into an appreciation applause and a very surprised treasurer, Grace Waldorf McMullen, in the occasion of her 35 years of service to our organization. Helen and Warren Clower from the graduating class of 1943 and 44 led Grace and husband Jim's children and grandchildren into the cafeteria, presenting Grace with a dozen American Beauty red roses and a music box from our alumni. The grandchildren, Rachel, Evan, and Clay, presented their grandmother with one long-stemmed rose each and included one from grandson Conrad, who lives in London, England, and was unable to be present. Children Daniel and wife Irene, Kevin and Eileen beamed with pride and happiness for their mother's honor and expressed a few words to the alumni. Grace's sister, Jeannie Waldorf Alp, gave a nice tribute with their other sister, Ruth Waldorf Miller, enjoying Grace's surprise. Grace contained her composure, and with a much surprised husband looking on, she expressed her humble thank you. President Kennedy called dinner at 6:55 p.m. with Vice President Charlotte Barr Floyd giving the invocation. A lovely Swiss steak dinner was served by the music boosters. We owe our many thanks to Lynn Michalak, who not only cooked but helped set up tables and was an answered prayer at the reservation tables when a problem was solved by her. Following dinner, President Kennedy brought the business meeting to order. Secretary's report was given and approved. Approval motion was made by Daniel Zachas and seconded by Dallas Stringer. And an unanimous aye carried motion. Treasurer Grace Waldorf McMullen gave detailed report with motion of acceptance given by Donna Sill and seconded by Glenn Gray. Mary Zivik Reichart and John Heston offered an impressive prayer and candle lighting ceremony for the 21 deceased members. Secretary expressed thank yous to the McMullen families, Alt family, Helen and Warren Clower for their part in Grace's honor night. She also thanked Rosemary Zachas Coker for setting up our address finder sheet and file at the reservation area as you come in. This enabled us to locate and correct 4 addresses that evening. This is indeed an accomplishment, and a review concerning the definition of a contact person was again defined, and Ruth Waldorf Miller from the class of 1937 was added as a contact person. 3 letters of correspondence of 1937, wait a minute, back up. 3 letters of correspondence were received, not counting those exchanged between McMullen families and our secretary. On April 5th of this year, Betty Troop Hefner, presenting the class of 1938, sent a gift of $272 to our treasury from their remaining membership. Edith Clark Warren from the class of 55 thanked us for her invitation, sent regrets for this year, and hopes to be with us in 2002. Rosemary Barisic Gibson, class of 54, who now lives in Arizona, shares her desire to be among those in 2004 on their 50th, and informed us of her brother Thomas Barisic's death in February of this year. Roll call was taken with 110 in attendance. Attention was brought to a poster on wall called People in the News. Those persons were honored on their local newspaper over this last year. They were Edgar Mealy, Richard Penn, Lynn Clower, Evelyn Crew, who's Donald Crew's wife, Marion Word, who is Charles Wern's wife, and Joanne Mateko Stringer. Should you have been here, you would have known for what. The honored class of 1951 and MCD by class member Charlotte Kopinski Gardner gave us much time of delight. Their members entertained us with comments from each person. A 50-year walk down memory lane with articles saved over the years by Charlotte's mother and read by Charlotte, a poem written by George Clark entitled The True Meaning of Success, which imparted wisdom and warmth. A special something from Kate Rappage Santucci and Marilyn Boyd Smith. So true to their outgoing spirits, they closed the entertainment with a rousing Vienna fight song, bringing back many fun and energetic times to each of us. After all these good reports, our failure to bring one single member from the newly invited class of 1963 was our misfortune. However, they and all of you, plus New Year class of 1964, are encouraged to join us for an evening of memories with very dear friends. The evening was adjourned with anticipation for the year of 2002. Respectfully, Gladys Quimby Dury.
Thank you, Gladys. I need a motion to accept the minutes as presented. Joanna Stringer, and a second. John. Thank you. All in favor, say aye, please. Aye. Now we need to have the treasurer's report.
We had a balance of $145.22. We took in $2,013, making a total of $2,158.22. We paid out $1,983.12. So we had a balance of $175.10 in the checking account. We have a savings account of $992.88.
Thank you, Grace. Are there any additions or corrections to the treasurer's report? May I have a motion to accept? Thank you, Linda. A second?
I'll second it. I want to get my name on the record.
Tell us what life was like for last year.
Okay, for this evening, we have to have an election of officers. The first one will be for vice president. As I fulfill my 2 years as president, Charlotte will be moving up as president next year. So we need to nominate a person for vice president for the next 2 years. Do I have any nominations from the floor? I'll second All in favor?
You all want to get out the
Bob is a new member on our committee this year. He will come on and serve as trustee, so he's just getting his feet wet. Okay, the next one will be for our secretary. Our current secretary is Gladys Dury. So we need to have a nomination for the secretary. Jeannie seconded. Anyone else? All in favor? Aye. Gladys has done an excellent job. And for the treasurer, our current treasurer is Grace McMillan.
won again.
Okay, Mary City graduate and John Heston will now do a memoriam for the members who have passed away this past year.
Yeah.
Before I start, there are two names which have not been included on the program. They are Betty Morris Bradbury and Shirley Meeker. Let me begin prayer, please. Our Heavenly Father, as we pause during these moments of memoriam, help us to reflect back through the past years. Fill our minds with the memories, our hearts with love, for these people have been our friends and our classmates. Amen. Leonard Cunningham, class of 1932, passed away April 13, 2002. Betty Morris Bradbury, class of 1935, passed away April 17, 2002. Anthony DeRuba, class of 35, passed away October 4th, 2001. Ruth Broga Smith, class of 1936. And I'm sorry, I don't have her date yet. Earl A. Hatch, class of 1939, passed away June 5th, 2001. Floyd F. Raymond, class of 1942, passed away June 2nd, 2001. Ella Mildred Dietz, class of 1943, passed away May 16th, 2000. Fred Johnson, class of 1944, passed away on June 18th, 2001. Howard F. Everett, class of 1944, passed away October 17th, 2001. Doris Sivnowski Neislonger, class of 48, passed away October 10th, 2001. Shirley Meeker, class of 1964, passed away on August 11th, year 2000. Mary will light the master candle in honor of all who have gone on to their rewards. Let each of us in our own way pause for a moment of silent prayer as she lights the candle. Amen.
Thank you, Mary and John. I will now turn the meeting over to Gladys Durrick, who will do the roll call by class.
secretary, I have added a prelude to our roll call of classes. This year, I will follow the same procedure. We first want to thank Kathy Williams Turner and her staff for a lovely meal, and aren't we glad she served dessert instead of a massive dry desert? Please accept my apology for incorrect spelling in your invitation letter referring to the word dessert. And also, while I'm making apologies, I want to apologize to the class of 1964 for starting to put Kathleen Worden Hagemeyer's name in the bulletin. And I omitted the most important part of her name. I don't know if I was called to the telephone or I had a senior citizen moment, but I do apologize. On behalf of all alumni, we wish to extend a sincere thank you to our alumni president, Jarena Scott Kennedy, for her faithful, gentle, and thorough guidance through these past 2 years. Jarena called her officers and board to 2 meetings a year during her term. These meetings kept our Alumni Association on course. This past year held many challenging decisions, and Jarena led us gently through them. May I add here that her husband Bob was mighty good to us. With many a meeting, he informed us how he would stay up all night preparing the dessert following our meetings. And Jarena, well, you know her, she just smiled and let us believe what we wanted to. 2 years ago, we instituted persons calling contact persons. These people are doing a great job of keeping in touch with their fellow classmates and also keeping your secretary updated in changes of addresses, changes in names, and when no obituary is published, they fill in there too. Last year, Rosemary Zachas-Coker took on the responsibility of working on finding addresses here at the alumni and set up a table for that endeavor. Anytime you can help at alumni time to update an address, please stop at her table at the entrance. It will be much appreciated. This year, Eleanor Anderson, Beechler, and Jim Zimmer became contact people for the honor class of 1952. They also have help with fellow classmates Danny Zachas, Jack Bradley, Mary Ann Mazzico Dixon, and Ralph Scott. John Goody Goodworth, Frank Karlovic, and Mary Ann Schrader Raptis from the new membership class of 1964 have been terrific contact people. Let me share with you how prompt John and Frank were. I phoned John one day with an address request. His reply was, "We'll get back with you in a few days." I thanked him. 3 days later, I received mail from Frank Karlovic with a memo attached to a 3-page letter stating, "Gladys, Goody told me to send you this. Signed, Frank Karlovic." The impressive fact is, this class consists of 80 people. Good job, guys, and Mary Ann, too. We have been blessed with much correspondence this year, having received 23 letters. Some were updating their changes of address, name changes, thank yous, and only 2 for request of removing their names from the mailing list. At this time, I will read a little from each person who took time to contact us. The class of 1940, we received a letter from our treasurer, Grace McMullen. This was following last year's doings. She said, "Dear Vienna alumni, what a nice surprise. I can't believe I have been treasurer for 35 years. Sure doesn't seem that long, but I have enjoyed doing it. The officers have always worked well together. Thanks so much for the carousel music box and the roses. Those who were involved in planning. It did a great job of keeping it a surprise. Many thanks for including our sons and their families. Also, your kindness and thoughtfulness was truly appreciated. Sincerely, Grace McMullen. Then we got this year a note from South Carolina. It was from Glenna Hawkins from the class of 1948, and she said, "Hi, just received the alumni letter, but as usual, we are still, this time in Florida, January through April. Hopefully we can get together this summer. Enjoy and tell everyone I say hi." The class of 1955, we received a letter from Edith Clark Warren, and I'll just read a paragraph because she made it quite personal. "Thank you for the information on the alumni banquet. We want to be attending this year. Maybe I can get Marshall to come next year. It's not working out this year." And she made a memo that her daughter is working for the state of Florida. She thought we might like to know that. And her son has been in the K-9 police force for 6 years. Then we got a note from Marilyn Boyd Smith. Now they were the ones, remember how she really lit into that fight song last year? That was very enjoyable. "Dear Gladys, I'm sorry we won't be able to attend this year's Vienna High School alumni dinner. Last year was such fun, our 50th. I've already marked 2003's calendar for the last weekend in April. My heart has never left Vienna, and I've only ever missed a couple of years coming home to visit. Lifelong friends are excelled treasures. Hope you'll all, a big hello to Charlotte Gardner, who has represented our class so faithfully in the Alumni Association. May God bless all of you. Only 15 more years till the 100th. We'll surely all make that one, right?" And then we got one from the class of 64 from Frank Karlovic, who really worked on this with John Goodworth. And he said, "Gladys, thanks for the invitation to the 85th Vienna Alumni Association reunion. I will not be able to attend. My family and I will be attending a wedding that evening. I hope I will be invited next year to next year's reunion. Sincerely, Frank Karlovic." And then from the class of 1964, we got a letter from Doug Scott. He says, "Dear Gladys, thank you so much for the invitation to the alumni banquet. As president of the class of 1964, I'm sure I echo my classmates' feeling in saying that we appreciate your gracious welcome to the Vienna alumni. I personally won't be able to attend, but I'm sure many of my friends and relatives will. Please accept the enclosed as a small token of appreciation for your thoughtfulness. Please give my regrets to our fellow alumni. Best regards, Doug Scott." And he enclosed a check for $100. Should you have earlier noticed our alumni in the news, back there, you found a rather large article on the Washington, D.C. trip by the LTV, members of which Tom Mazika from the class of 1948 took part. The Tribune newspaper stated 30,000 men took part at our Capitol vying for our President of the United States to take notice. Our small community has taught us how to reach out in many other areas of our lives, making each of us important not only to each other, but to mankind round about us. Judge Tom Swift is also in the news back there on that board. He's from the class of 1960, and it seems he's constantly in the news that comes from his job. However, what takes our eye with much pleasure is the fact that he is a grandfather of triplet grandsons. We thank him for his dedicated profession and congratulate him on those grandsons. Robert Bob Gottschall added a son-in-law to his family last June. You might say, big deal. Well, Bob is an alumni of 1957, and his daughter Carol, who got married, graduated in 1988. We do have a family who is proud that they have 5 generations graduated from Vienna, and several families with 4 and 3 generations. This is the most proper time to honor 4 very dedicated alumni. These persons have many years of perfect attendance. Charlotte, will you help me out here? Charlotte Kopinski Gardner will assist me. The first person, am I giving you time, Charlotte? Okay. The first person is Jeannie Waldorf Alt. Jeannie has 68 years perfect attendance in the alumni, and we wish her proud. We have to give Charlotte time to get from one side of the room to the other. And Charlotte is giving her a little personal gift of hers. It's a calendar, a 16-month calendar. And she wants Jeannie to look at this calendar because it will be 69 years next year. Our second person, pardon me, Jeannie? Yes, we did request that. The second person is Norman Hayes. Norman has 67 years of perfect attendance. Started out by raising your hand so she could find you. All right. And Norman, you face over toward the wall once you get that big crown. Because we want your picture. The third person is Norma's wife, Marjorie Oakes Hayes, with 66 years of perfect attendance. Charlotte told me that she's only going to give Norman the calendar and let him be in charge of that, but she has a sweet little something to give you, Margie, and a crown. And look to the wall over here so we can get your picture. Thank you. And the last final person is Velma Benny Gibson. She has 60 years of perfect attendance. Congratulations to all of you. And if there is someone I have missed, will you please whisper in my ear at the end of the program? Now it's time to unveil our mystery alumni. Will Charlotte Gardner please unveil our tripod? Our bulletin board. Does anybody think they know that? Just tear it off, Charlotte. Well, I know it's quite a distance back for some of you to see it, and you're going to have to stop up by the bulletin board when the program is over and look. Will you unveil the other thing on the table, please? And does anyone seem to think they know what the number 123 stands for? Well, we do. It's in the fire department. And that person is Warren Clower. Warren has served faithfully 51 years. And there's his family coming in. I was told when the fire siren blows, Warren is one of the first at the station. We also heard that Warren has the first fire truck in Vienna, which is a 1940 Chevy, waiting to be restored. We give you our appreciation and our applause, and we have a prayer for you that's framed over on the table. And I'm going to read that prayer to you. You don't have to bow, you can just think of the words as I read them. It states, let them get their picture. Dawn? Yeah, you can already see. Okay. Did you get her in now? Our prayer for you, Warren, says, Father God, as the fire siren rang out today, we put our immediate request to you for the Vienna Fire Department and those they are about to serve. We ask imparted wisdom to these firemen and emergency squad for courage and strength to meet the needs of those calling upon them for help. We thank you for men with the spirit of caring. We thank you for men who serve our community fire department. We ask a special blessing on our fellow servant and friend, Warren Clower, who has served us faithfully through 51 years. We honor Warren with your blessing and our deepest respect and appreciation. On behalf of all Vienna School alumni, we are the officers and board members of Vienna School Alumni Association. Thank you so much, Warren.
Thank you.
Stay there, I'll take it. Over here, over here.
Now John wants to get a picture. All right, we also have an announcement, and I'm not sure who's going to make it. Is it going to be Charlotte? All right, Charlotte has an announcement to make.
I hope you'll be able to hear that. If you notice, picture on the wall is the 1951 class, which is my class. And through discussion with Mr. DeMarco, he has given permission for anybody that has their class picture to bring it back to school, and we will hang them up. We've been working on that for a while, because those pictures have all been taken down, and some of them don't even know where they are.
I do have record of some people or persons that do have their large hall picture. So if you have a picture, will you let us know, one of us? We tried to locate this class's honored picture, the class of 1952, without any success. But we never could try. So if you know where a picture is, please let us know. And with that, I'm going to ask, when I call the roll call, will the ladies give your maiden name, followed by your married name, and all class members remain standing until the next class is called. Thank you. And with that, here we go. I might stay here too. I am in no position to remove a name from the book unless I have been notified of their death. And so I call that year, no matter how long ago it was, as long as there's a name on it. And with that, we will start with the class of 1917. We have one member on that membership without being known. The class of 1918 is deceased. Class of 1919, 1920, class deceased. 1921, class deceased. 1922, class 1923, deceased. 1924, class deceased. 1925, 1926, class deceased. 1927, 1928, class deceased. 1929, class deceased. 1930, 1931. Will you please stand? And will you- Will you please give your name?
George Zentz.
George Zentz. Thank you, George. Class of 1932. Thank you, Roland. 1933. 1934. Wonderful. Will you please give your name? Edgar Neely and Norman Hayes. Thank you. 1934. Was that 34? I put you on the wrong space. Okay. 1935. And will you please give your name?
John Turner.
John Turner. Oaks Hayes. Okay. George Matejko. I repeat it because sometimes your voices are soft and they don't hear you all over the room. All right, we're now ready for 1936. Put your hands up if it's difficult to get up. They will not give up, those girls. I didn't get the first name, Kathleen? Catherine Harriet. Catherine.
And I'm J. Wallace Moses.
We have two. Jeannie Waldorf. 1937. Oh, look at that. Isn't that wonderful? All right, we'll stop back there. And the lady beside you, Richard, the lady beside you. Thank you. Did you all hear their names? Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What did I call? 37? Okay. 1938. And will you give your names? Eddie Trupper. Edna Mealy Lynn. Right. Thank you. There's 3. 1939. Elizabeth. Thank you. 1940. All right, will you start with the right girl at the back, right.
Barbara Rice Hurley.
Saturday.
And they happen to be twins. Oh, there's Grace. Oh, my goodness, Grace. I'm turning my back on you. Sorry about that.
Grace Waller.
Thank you, Grace. 1941.
Bob Phillips.
Bob Phillips. 1942. Oh. All right, you want to start at the back of the room?
Bell or Betty Gibson.
Betty Williams Groves. Marcella drums and Burkett all by Burkett and my Mary name is Paul.
Yvonne Powell.
Thank you. We can hear this. 1943.
Olga Vesteri Soroka. Ellen Sheen.
Warren Clark.
Thank you. 1944.
Helen Q. Flower.
Gilbert Parks Melton.
Richard Tunkel.
Bernie Elton Melton.
Thank you. 1945. Thank you, Deb. 1946. 46.
Alexander.
Three. She's so short. We almost overlooked you.
Helen considered Carol.
Thank you, Helen. 3. All right. 1947. Wait. I got Bill. I got him too.
What's his name?
Oh, you didn't hear his name. Norm, you want to tell him your name? Thank you, Norman. 1947. All right, 1948. 1949. My name is Gladys Quimby Dury. 1949. 1950. Thank you, Roland. I might add, Roland's wife is the photographer this evening, along with John Goodworth. 1951. Oh, isn't that nice? Ah, Amon, yes. Yes.
I'm already standing.
What would we do without his gifts? All right, will you start, Donna, on your side?
Donna Jean Sill Schaefer. I'm his sister.
Oh, we know it.
I bet you pointed down too.
Abel, would you like to give your own name?
Well, I'll have to get up for that.
Oh, all right.
I don't have much of a voice that don't carry very well.
Point down.
I'm divorced, so it's Emil Richard Sill.
All right.
Hey, Rocket Stanton.
Joanne Griffith.
Gardner.
George Clark. Charles Scott.
Janet Grayhart.
Thank you. '52. And that, no, I skipped that. That's not gonna count. All right, 1953. None for 1953? Okay, 1954. Ladies first.
Charles Zimmer.
Thank you. That was 1955. Ladies,
Diane Kellogg, Mark Mazico.
thank you. 1956. I laugh because you want to watch this group. Okay, will you start?
Joanna Tango Stringer,
Don Zackus, Woodall.
Mary City Parker.
Doug Heston. Bob Carey.
Thank you.
Ladies first.
Ladies first, yes.
Charlotte Bark Boyd, Joanna Scott Kennedy.
Paul Kovacs.
Jim Mazico.
Thank you. 1958. Ladies first.
Lois Kellogg,
Richard Sable.
Thank you. 1959.
Bob Gerling, all the rest of you see.
He's going to do all right on this board. 1960. All right. 1961.
Keith Wood.
Thank you, Keith. 1962. Another. All right, we'll start with the lady on this side. Vivic.
Patricia Bradley Anton, Susan Whitney,
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Pat Palmer.
Thank you. Thank you, Pat. 1963. 1964.
John Goody, Goodworth.
And with that, I'm going to turn the program back to our president. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gladys. We didn't forget you, class of 1952. So will the speaker for that class?
It's on now. I'm Ralph Scott, and if anyone else asks me tonight if I'm Dean's brother or Donnie's brother, I'm the middle brother, the little brother. Some of you might know me by Dale Scott. Okay? Class is 52, and I'm going to break this thing down. And each one of you, if you would please give your name, if you want to tell us where you live, because we get more time than the rest of the people. Actually, we can talk as long as we want to. Yeah? That's what I've been told.
I'm Dan Zackus. This is my wife, Marge. We live in Holland. We both retired from Holland schools. We have 2 children, a son and a daughter. Daughter lives here in Vienna, and her children attend Mathews School District. My son lives in Liberty, and their children attend Liberty School. So we're fairly close together.
Gail Nicelonger Reinschel. This is my husband Bob. We're from Columbus, Ohio. We're both retired. We have 2 daughters, 3 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild.
Ralph,
Could we have them stand up because there's people over here that can't see who they are?
Are any of you capable of standing? Try to get up, Dan. Gail, let's do what we can with you, too.
I live in Brookfield, Ohio. I have 5 children, 3 sons, 2 daughters, 13 grandkids. I'm retired.
Single woman.
My name is Jim Zimmer. This is my wife, Dorothy. We have 6 children, 5 sons and 1 daughter. I've lived here in Vienna for 63 years. I am a retired electrician, working both construction and maintenance. And 4 grandchildren, she reminds me. Yes, about all I have.
My name is Jack Bradley, and this morning, of course, we live up in Warren Road, Vienna. We have 6 children, 16 grandchildren. We're both retired, shooting practicals. I'm doing it like
I'm Joyce Regal Love. Hello. I was looking around earlier and didn't see any faces. Now I do see them, I know. I have my husband Jack with me. We have 3 children and 3 grandchildren. I am a retired nursery school teacher. I ended up teaching 3-year-olds in nursery school. We are from Buffalo, New York, and yes, we do get a little snow there. I'm very, very active in my church still, and doing some skits and drama work there that is keeping me young, I think. Younger than I might have been otherwise. But I will pass the baton on now.
I have 3 children, and I have about 8 grandchildren. Number changes. I live in Naples, Florida, and I'm still working. I'm not retired. I retired in 1999 and went back to work. 2002 this January, and I'm a registered nurse.
I'm Barbara Lavin Zimmerman. I have 3 children and 7 grandchildren. We're both retired and we live in Lordstown, Ohio, and Naples. This is my husband, Richard.
And this is my wife, Grace. We have 4 children, 10 grandchildren. We live in McMurray, Pennsylvania, which is just south of Pittsburgh, almost close to Washington, Little Washington, George Washington, stuff in those places. We're just delighted to be here. I'm going to walk up here and talk a little bit if I could. I'd just like to say that this is a very difficult act to follow when you have people with the experience and the skill that we've seen here tonight. But I thought, really, that kangaroo courts went out a long time ago. Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that the school that I went to would end up being ruled like that tonight. Either these jobs are coveted or nobody wants them. And the treasurer for 35 going on 36. Oh, a lot of money there. Does she live in a big house? We had our gathering last night of what was a class of 34, reduced by 11 through death, and we had a ceremony similar to yours here tonight. And we ended up tonight here with the number you saw. The rest of those people, okay, I call them that, haven't seen them for a long time. And when I was putting together a couple of notes tonight, I thought, what will the audience be like? Because this is the beginning of my streak. This is the first time I've been here, my choice, which I apologize for. However, it's the second time I was here. The first time I came for my father's 50th, which was 30 years ago. And the audience, of which most of you were there, seemed much older than you do tonight. And I guess I would say that coming from a school like Vienna, and then moving to Pennsylvania after college, to Pittsburgh, to a big city, they actually had classes that had 150, 450, and 500. My son was in a class of over 950. So I think the world changes a lot, and we have too, I believe. I guess I'd just like to read, if I could, because of the senior memory lapse. This is just a couple of things that we talked about last night that I think that you might like to hear. And these are just questions to think about. If you had to identify the time or the moment in your life when you felt the most free, when was it? When you were a student? When your children got married and moved away? When the grandchildren went away? When was it? Or if you had to name the most beautiful spot on earth that you've ever seen, what spot would that be? Your own backyard? The beach? The mountains? If you had to identify the best teacher you ever had, what would you say he or she did that made her your best teacher? And if you had to describe the moment in your life when you had the most courage, what would you say that moment was? And probably most important to most of us, if you had to name the one thing that most frightens you about growing old, what would it be? If you had to pick one experience or situation when you were the most decisive in your life, when would that have been? If you had to name the time when you were closest to death, when would that have been? If you were to decide the legal age for sexual consent, when would that be? And this is a good time to insert this information. In the newspaper, when we checked into the motel last night, there were a couple of ads that caught my attention. And I know that I'm born in a different time. I might have been happier being born now. This is the ad for Caribbean vacation. Nude Caribbean vacation. No fees, call toll number. I don't think we had those things when I was younger. And then I've always wanted to see a kangaroo in the wild. You can go to, for $16.99, you can go to Sydney, Australia, 4 nights at the Great Barrier Reef, 4 nights in Melbourne, and you can fly from place to place, all included for $16.90. And just in case, if you have a pencil handy, this says here, when ordering medication, we deliver it. What do you think the medication might be? Viagra. We were really fortunate when we were young because we didn't need those artificial. I guess I remember that. If you had to name a smell that always makes you nostalgic, what would that smell be? if you had to name the greatest conquest in your life thus far, what would it be? If you were to pick the one thing that makes you smile, what would that one thing be? Or if you had to decide the outcome of the O.J. Simpson trial, what would the verdict have been? I'd like to read a little note from one of our classmates who sent this, Tom Coddington. Tom is not doing so well. And he wrote this. I, Tom Coddington, have had a lifetime relationship with each of you in my heart and in my mind. Throughout all the years that have passed by so quickly, it was a small class, and I remember each and every one of you fondly. Whether you remember me or not, it does not matter. It has been my pleasure to have you in my heart over the years, and you will always continue to be there. We thank you. And then we have my little thought that I'd like to share with you before I leave. This is kind of the way I think our class feels. I hope some of you can associate with it. And I might add this, that my grammar is not so good, so in this you'll find plurals where there should be singles, singular, and I put them in that way for choice. My wife edits me when I do this. She says, you can't do that, so I'll do it anyway. We sit in our favorite chair. It's been a long day. The house is quiet and we're all alone. It's almost dark. Fireplace flames, shadows leap and dance on the walls. We are warm and comfortable and satisfied. Can we really be in the October and November of our lives? We begin to reflect on our own individual life. We have always tried to do the right thing, to be a contributing member to our communities, to our families, to our spouses. However, we wonder if we have made a difference in the world. Has our life meant anything to anybody? Will my family really remember me, and how and why? Have I made a difference in my job place? Will anyone remember me when I'm gone? We sit there and drift and dream. And suddenly we are filled with a warm, powerful feeling that we are an essential part of the one great power. And we know that our souls will continue forever. The class of 52 thanks you for the invitation.
Thank you, Ralph. We have a few gifts for the honor class. Charlotte.
Pardon?
Come over and
The couple that has been married the longest in the honor.
Barbara, Larry, Richard. We also have a gift for the one that came the longest distance in the honor class.
Can't hear the brothers.
Helen Bar Olson. They came from Naples, Florida. Okay, this is for the whole group. The couple that's been married the longest of all the alumni.
Anybody 60 years or than 64?
Anyone been married longer than 4 years?
Anybody longer than 64?
64 years old. We graduated together. Okay, Norm.
We have 264.
Wasn't Dee, we were on the same day. 57.
Yeah, nice.
64.
So that's Norman and Margie Hayes, married 65 years in May. This one is for the person, the couple, or the person who did the longest in the whole, in the furthest.
California. Anybody, I know John Trigger came from Colorado. Anybody any further?
You got it.
Looks like you got it. Oh, there it is. He's from where? Colorado.
John Turner, Colorado. This one is for the person who has the closest birthday. Does anyone have a birthday today?
Birthday, today, tomorrow, yesterday, who's the closest birthday?
Tonight at midnight.
Tonight, Tuesday.
Bill Derby.
How old is he? 39.
Make 7-4.
Okay, John Heston and Ed Riker will now do a 50-50 drawing. And hold on to your tickets because after that, they're going to raffle off all the flowers on the table. Everyone get tickets for anyone who wants to still purchase.
Here's the mic.
Number is 648820. Six, 4, 8, 8, 2, 0. Hold on to your tickets because we're going to drop the Tammy said he wants to donate it back to the library at the school so they can purchase books. These are for the flowers on the table. I believe there are 15. Okay, first one, how about if I just read the last four digits? Everything starts at 16. Okay, 8873.
They got one right on here.
Number 9664.
Well, you got another loser over here. That's all right, Dick, we understand.
Number 9536. 9536.
The library.
Number 9585.
9585. Bingo. For you Catholics, bingo.
I think it'd be quicker if we just had it. Never watch them take it. Right.
That's why they have to give them away then.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if the siren would ring right now, you might know that number 123 is in question. That's Warren Flower. Warren, we want you to take all the snapshots off the poster board with you home. And will you please return that gear to the fire department before tomorrow?
I don't have anything.
I just